Hey guys, and welcome to Griffo's Retro Gaming. I'm back and I'm raring to go to the Doncaster gaming market. So today is the second market of the year and I'm going to be covering my journey around as a customer. So I'm going to be using an action cam which will give you a first person view of everything that I see. So there's a certain amount of things that I'm going to be looking for at the market. Those are original Xbox games and Xbox 360 games. I've roughly got about 100 on each system, so I want to add to them. And Game Boy games, which are very expensive, I know, but I've started a collection at the minute. I'm not interested in loose cartridges, I want them boxed with the instructions, so yeah, wish me luck on that one, but I'll see what I can buy. So as an added bonus for the video, I'm going to be doing a £20 challenge, which will involve me spending £20 on as much as I can. Now I'm going to be haggling, I'm going to be bargaining, I'm going to be asking for buy one get one frees, anything. I'm just going to see how much I can get with £20 and then I'll show you at the end of the video what I have got. So I don't know about you, but I'm excited, so let's check it out. On a beautiful day in the equally as beautiful Doncaster. Just ignore the building work that's going on there. So as I walked in, I was greeted by this typical looking market stall, and you can see the really useful boxes full of games, loose cartridges or box games there, with the more expensive and rarer games at the back, which you have to obviously ask the stall holder to have a look at. Now, my eyes were drawn to the original Xbox and Xbox 360 games here, and for the most part it was mainly fodder, but I did spot Castlevania 2. It was £5, and for some reason I didn't bother getting it. And thinking back, or looking back should I say, I can't understand why I left it. £5 for that. But yeah, you live and learn, I guess. Next up then was Mushroom Gamers, and the stall was pretty much the same as the last, but it did have this bargain bin here with a lot of games under £2 essentially. There was nothing of any real interest in there, unfortunately. There were some nice consoles there, handhelds, but yeah, for the most part it was the same as the last stall, but there was a box full of controllers on the floor there. Next up was I don't know the name of this stall, but it's obviously artwork. Some of it's really good, but it's not my cup of tea. So approaching this stall, I got a bit excited. I thought there was a load of original Game Boy games, but unfortunately it was just Game Boy Advance. Now, I'm not a collector of Game Boy Advance as yet, but I had a look through to see if there was any original Game Boy games, and there wasn't. So I moved on, and there's some PlayStation 4 games there, but nothing for me, an original Xbox. But at the back, there was a couple of original Xbox games that were quite rare, and one of them was the Brotherhood of Steel Fallout game, and it was priced up at $25, so I left that because I wasn't sure of how much it was worth anyway. Looking at this as well, you don't realise at the time there's so much to see, and you miss a few things. There was an original Famicom there, and there was a N64 pad for the Japanese Pikachu edition. I totally missed them. So here we have another pretty standard stall, but Lethal Enforcers for the Mega CD there, £25. That's got to be a bargain, hasn't it? And just to the left there, there's a SNES which was £40, and I was quite surprised by that, because I remember when I first came to a gaming market about 3 years ago, they were going for £70. So they've almost halved in value. Looking through the original Xbox games here as well, there was a few rare ones, like a Barbie game, like Horse Adventures or something, and that goes for around £15, but I'm only collecting games that I'm going to play, and yeah, I'm not going to play Barbie. I'm not going to admit to it anyway. Looking further into it, there was a Fable here which I hadn't seen before, and it had a DVD with Peter Molyneux. Yeah, I'd rather watch Songs of Praise on mute, to be honest. Now, this was a good little stall. It had various games from different platforms, but there was a lot of NES games, and there was 2 games that I wanted for the Game Boy, believe it or not. Gauntlet 2, as you can see, I'm picking it up there, but it had a big rip in the back. I don't know if you saw that, just in the top right there. £20 is a fair price, but the rip really put me off. And Paperboy, desperate for this for the Game Boy, but again, it's not in the best condition. They always look better in the protectors, but yeah, 20 quid though. I mean, if you just wanted to play the game, that's pretty good. So there was also some original Xbox games, but they were a little overpriced. So for an example, the Grand Theft Auto double pack there near my hand is £10. In CEX, it's £8. And you get a 2-year warranty on the disc, so, you know, I wasn't going to go for that. But moving on to the next store, look at this. Batman, 4 quid for the Amiga. Sadly, I haven't got an Amiga anymore, but what a bargain that is. Some great titles there. The next stall had some great titles as well, so here I've got Dino Blaster. But that was £35, so yeah, sadly I left that. But there was some other great titles too. As you can see there was a sealed PSP game. I did pick out this as well, King of Fighters 02. It's a fighting game, but it's relatively rare on the Xbox. You don't see it all too often. But yeah, again, surprise, I decided against it. But yeah, Godzilla here, £10. Now, this is interesting because on another stall, I saw it for 35, and I seem to remember it was going for a lot more a while back. It was going for around 20, but I left it for the moment. Here is Turtles as well, 15 quid. It's a game I do want for the original Xbox. I think there's 3 Turtles games and they're all brilliant. You see me looking at this and I'm really, really pondering getting it. I was so close to buying it, but I didn't, and I think it was the condition of the disc. It wasn't terrible, it would definitely play, but I like my discs to be perfect as well. Yeah, indecisive. So there's a few Game Boy Advance games here, but what really took my attention was this Dragon Ninja for the NES, and it is pristine. Look at that. Barring a couple of stickers, that is mint. It was beautiful. Now look at this. Talk about retro. An Atari ST and clicky. Yeah, I love fingering things. Oh, yeah. Let's move on. Now here is my childhood. In one basket it would seem, but these are WWF Hasbro figures released in the 90s, possibly the 80s as well. Now I had about 40 or maybe 50, and I was looking for Repo Man in particular. They were priced up as £3. I don't know about this double pack with Earthquake and Typhoon, but yeah, Repo Man's a bit of an in-joke, which is why I was looking for that. Now this stall was brilliant. It was just bookcases and bookcases rammed full of what seemed like pristine games of anything you can think of is in television even, and just look at the artwork on Lock and Chase. Absolutely stunning. Shame about the game graphics, but you know, it was from the 80s. But yeah, the quality of the games were just fantastic, and I don't know if that was down to them being in the polythene bags there, but yeah, there was some special edition games as well, and double packs, things that you don't usually see too often. The only criticism was that the prices were a little on the high side. But look at all these Xbox 360 games, and I pick out here Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition. I've got Fallout 3 Game of the Year, and I've got Oblivion and Skyrim Game of the Year, so it's just the New Vegas one that I need. I come across some Game Boy games here. There were some decent titles, but again, they were a bit on the high side. Now, I saw Tetris 2, and it was priced up at £14. I was quite prepared to pay that price, but you'll see me shaking the box, and the reason I'm doing that is to see if it's got the insert in. Sadly, this didn't. It just had the cartridge and the instructions, so I left that. And over in the corner here was some beautiful handhelds, and it was the Game Boy Pocket that caught my eye in the yellow. There was something about it I just really liked, and I haven't got a Game Boy Pocket. The prices were alright, so there wasn't too far out. Next up was the cabinets that they had with the high value games. They were locked and there was a guy there on patrol, if you like, and there was some fantastic titles in there. Don't know if you can see, but there was Oracle of Ages or Seasons, I can't remember which one now, the Zelda games, and there was plenty of NES games that were on the rarer side, but it was Street Fighter 2 that I quite fancied. Now, I had that when I was younger, and it was a pretty decent port, to be honest, but this guy, he had £42 on it, and it was more than I wanted to spend on a game. This store was like all the rest really, plenty of games there and merchandise. And I got talking to the guy about the barcode battler that you might be able to see there. It's something from my childhood. I didn't have one, but my friend did, and I was wowed by it, but I never got one, unfortunately. Now, he offered me this for £10. It was lovely boxed, but I've got nowhere to put it. Now, these were stunning. I'd never seen a Nomad in the flesh before, a Sega Nomad that is. And this guy had a couple that were modded, so they had a backlit screen on them, and as you can see, it's playing Sonic there. And the idea behind the Nomad was it was released in America. I'm not sure if it was released in Japan as well, but it was a portable Mega Drive, so you could put your cartridges in and play the games on the go. It used to eat through batteries in seconds, pretty much, but yeah, to be able to do that back then, it's a bit of a precursor to the Switch, I guess. And the Game Gears as well that he had there, the screens on them just really bring the Game Gear to life, and it's such a underrated system that was like swallowed up and spat out by the Game Boy. I think I'm not a massive Sega fan, but I have so much love for the Game Gear. It was pretty much a portable Master System. And here is my first purchase on film. Yeah, I wasn't indecisive with this. So it's the Game & Gallery 5-in-1 cartridge for the Game Boy. The seller was asking £5. I couldn't turn it down. It was in lovely condition, barring a rip in the top left corner. Now, this store was doing a roaring trade. It had all these boxes with some really like you can see here, everything in the box, £2 each or 3 for a £5. And there was some good titles in there. I mean, look at that, Joust, the Tony Hawk's. This one had WrestleMania. I think that was for the Spectrum, if I remember right. So, yeah, there you go, Spectrum. There was a few, like, American games as well. But, you know, if you got a modded SNES, that's not a problem. Or modded NES, NTSC, Top Gun there. £2 each. Absolute bargain. And like I say, it was doing a roaring trade. People were grabbing handfuls of the games and, you know, absolutely brilliant. He also, at the back here, had some really, really nice Game Boy games. Sadly, all of them was a bit out of my price range. I just wish I had more money to take, and I'd have bought a few of these. So there was Mystic Quest, you might be able to see there. That was £80. And I think Metroid was £75. You got Fall of the Foot Clan, which I had when I was younger. That's a Turtles game. That was £60 or £65. Now, I had to leave this in. As you'll remember, I did a review on it. It's Adam's Family for the SNES, and it's my guilty pleasure of a game. It is absolutely tripe, but it's just a standard platformer, and I've got so much nostalgia for it. If I had a SNES, I'd have snapped that up at £15. So this stall had some Xbox games in this really useful box here, and some of them were sealed, believe it or not. Broken Sword here is an example. It's a game I need, but I'd feel guilty about opening it, so yeah, again, I'm making excuses out to not buy, but yeah, again, I left that. And there was another sealed game here as well. Not Batman, but that £5, not bad. Game I need, but I know I can get that cheaper. Here it is, the other sealed game, Jaeger, which I have, but that looks like a special edition or something. But anyway, I just passed that up. There was also some original Game Boy games, which you can see just now. And there was only 2 that really took my fancy. One being Terminator there, but I'd already seen that for a bit cheaper. And Tasmania, but I've got that. And would you believe it? At this stall, I made my second purchase. So there's some pretty good original Game Boy games here, Wario Land 2 there. And the one that I buy is Star Wars. It's one of the games that I do actually want. I'm not a big Star Wars fan or anything, but apparently it's really hard. So £14 he was asking. I said 10. He said no. But I got it for 12 in the end. So next up is a stall that had so many great games in, decent condition, the majority, but it was so expensive. And you'll see me here getting Call of Cthulhu on the original Xbox. It was priced up at 28, and you can see the rip on the front there. It's only £18 in CEX, so they're asking £10 more than CEX. And when it comes to that, I think you need to be asking questions. So hallelujah, another stall where I make a purchase, would you believe it? Now it's a great little stall this, and you see me going for the yellow Game Boy Pocket again, which took my interest. But just to the right of the picture, you'll see an original Game Boy, and it had Bart vs the Juggernauts, which was in pristine condition. It was beautiful. Asking price of 15, but I got it for 10. So the stall holder, Mark, thank you. Now this stall was a bit of a mixed bag. Yeah, there was a load of Xbox games here and some really nice and rare ones as well. And you see me here picking up Tetris Worlds, which I went on to buy, believe it or not. But yeah, why it was a mixed bag is that some games were reasonably priced and then others were just way too expensive, like Jurassic Park there, 40 quid. It's only 20 in CEX. Silent Hill for the room, £10. That's about right. So yeah, a really mixed bag. But I got Tetris Worlds for 3 quid and I'm absolutely delighted with that. So this is where I see Godzilla for 35. And if you remember at the other stall it was 10. So I went back and bought that. And here's me purchasing Tetris. So yeah, absolutely delighted with that. Can't wait to play it. So just for another nostalgia hit is WWF Royal Rumble. £10, but I'd probably pay that to play it again. I really enjoyed the game. I loved it. And you can see Airborne Strike there and Road Rash. Some great games available. So this is the stall where I ended up buying Godzilla from. And I go through the Game Boy games again. And I looked for Turtles, but someone had bought it, unfortunately, so it wasn't to be. But yeah, I settled with Godzilla, and it's £12 in CEX, so I'm only saving £2, but I'd rather give a reseller the money rather than CEX, so I was happy to pay it. But I'm just grateful I didn't see it for the 35 and buy it there. So yeah, dodged a bullet it would seem. Now, can you get any more Japanese than this? Japanese SNES with Hello Kitty. Anyway, so I spot this, which is a Grand Theft Auto 4 Special Edition. And what's special about it is it comes with a safe of some kind. I didn't open it up, unfortunately, to have a look, but I give it a go, but best not. Yeah, so I was quite intrigued by this, collecting 360 gear, but he wanted £75, so I quickly put that back. But I did spot this, Nemesis on the original Game Boy. It wasn't priced up, you can see me having a bit of trouble trying to figure it out. Specialised stick for £50, which I believe was the PlayStation one. So he asked his mate, and it is looking on the list there, £60. It was nice condition and everything, but yeah, not for me. And I should learn when they're presented like that on its own, it's going to be a lot of money. So I look around the corner here and there's a full box of Game Boy games, and just to go back on my last comment, there's Battletoads there, which was 110. So in this box was a load of Game Boy games, and there wasn't priced, unfortunately, so I didn't know how much there was. You can see me looking at Humans there, and there was some great titles. I could have spent a fortune here. Kirby's Dream Land is a game that I wanted as well. I absolutely love Kirby. There was, you see me picking up a whole host of games here. Donkey Kong there. It says $5.99, but I think that was how much they got it at retail for. And look at this, Heroes of Might and Magic. Let me tell you, it wasn't £5. So I asked him, I say, how much are your games? And I think he forgot to price them, but he passed me the list, to be fair. I'm looking down it. If you press pause as well, you'll be able to see some of the prices. So, Heroes of Might and Magic is £25. Humans, I believe, was £20 or £25. I can't remember now. And Kirby's Dream Land was £25. So I put that back. Well, I put them all back. But I'm intrigued by the list because it says there's Kirby's Pinball and it's £15. And that alerted me a bit. But I couldn't find it. And then I'm thinking, have they muddled up Kirby's Dream Land and Kirby's Pinball? Is Kirby's Dream Land 15 quid? But it turned out it wasn't. So there's a few more Game Boy games at this stall. But what took my attention away from them was this Kirby's Adventure for the NES. It was priced up at 40 quid, but what a game. I absolutely love Kirby, like I said in the last bit. And yeah, I just wish I could afford that. Looking at this stall, and what do I find? A load of Spectrum games. And Dragon's Lair, look at that. On cassette. It would have took about, I don't know, 5 minutes to load. Them were the days. So I come across another stall which had quite a lot of Game Boy games in a really useful box. And they were mixed among some Game Boy Color games and Game Boy Advance. You see me picking up Tetris Attack there. I believe that was £25, so a bit more than I wanted to pay. You can also see the original Game Boy, which is boxed. I believe that was £55. But like a lot of the games on this stall, the condition just wasn't there. The asking price was about right, but the condition of some of the games, it just didn't seem like, you know, worth paying really. And that was a bit of a shame because there was some good titles. You'll see me picking up Double Dragon in a minute, and you know, I've got that as cartridge only, but I would have loved to have got it boxed. There's also Tetris DX there as well. I think that was 20. So here's another store where the prices were a bit all over the place, but I did make 2 purchases from here. And no, it wasn't Xbox games. In the background, you'll see me pointing to them in a minute. There's 2 Game Boy games, original Game Boy games, that I quite fancy the look of, and they were Lemmings and Gremlins 2. Both priced up at 15 each. I did a deal and got them for 26. Decent condition, I'm quite happy with that. So moving on, this was a SNES with wireless controllers. Quite cool, to be honest. Never thought I'd see that. So yeah, I thought I'd leave that in the video for you to see. The screen was also quite cool. And there were some Japanese games here, but more interestingly, something I'd never seen before, some Famicom discs. You don't see them all too often, and that was for the Famicom disc system in Japan. And another stall with Game Boy games, and I make a purchase from here as well. Unfortunately, Superstars, WWF Superstars, it was a bit too much for the condition. But in this box there was soccer, and it was, as you can see, £3 each or 2 for £5. And I ended up getting Pool on the Game Boy Color. And yeah, for £5, 2 games there. Absolutely delighted. Just to cap off a great day. First up then is Tetris Worlds on the original Xbox, and it's a game that I've wanted for quite a while. I absolutely love Tetris, and this features 6 different game types, and if it's anything like the Nintendo DS version, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Also in the video is me looking at Godzilla Save the Earth, and I went on to buy it. Now, it's £12 in CEX, so I've only saved £2, but it's not a game you see an awful lot. It's in nice condition, so yeah, definitely one for the collection because the game itself looks absolutely terrible. But we'll see, it might surprise me. Next up is a game that I've been following on eBay prior to coming to the gaming market, and it was £9 online, but I'd been waiting for it to come down. And yeah, I came to the gaming market and there it was in a £5 bargain bin. Absolutely lovely condition, barring a tear in the top left hand corner, but that's something I can live with. For £5, absolutely. Lemmings, yeah, wow. Yeah, I had this back in the day on the Amiga and I really enjoyed playing it. But this was a bit of a gamble, and the reason being is, obviously on the Amiga you have a mouse which allows you to play the game a lot easier. You don't have that functionality on the Game Boy, so I'm not quite sure how it will play, but we'll see. I might even do a review on it. Coming from the same stall as Lemmings is Gremlins 2. Now, he had it priced up at £15, the same as Lemmings, so I asked for 25. He said no, I want 26. But I was happy to pay that, to be honest, and it's in really nice condition. It's a fun game where you play as Gizmo, so it's obviously going to be great. And yeah, for £13 each, I was happy with that. It's a great addition to the collection and one I'm going to have a lot of fun playing. This is an interesting one. Now, I approached the table and I noticed that he had a lot of Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games. And the stallholder said to me, "It's £2 if you want that, mate." So I was looking at it, it's in good condition and everything. I thought, for £2 I can't really pass that up. So yeah, I bought it and it's terrible. But for £2, who am I to moan at that? That vs. the Juggernauts is a game that I'd never even heard of. And I was intrigued, let's be honest, but it turns out it's just a bunch of mini games, so it's not fantastic. But what is fantastic is the condition. It is mint. It's beautiful. It was priced up at £15, which I would have paid, and I was going to pay, but the stallholder gave it to me for £10, so very grateful for that. It's going to look great in the collection, despite it being a rubbish game. Now, soccer is a game that you see me picking up near the end of the video, and it's out of a little basket which says £3 or 2 for £5. Now, I was rummaging through trying to find another game. I wanted soccer. I'd seen it online for about £7, I think. So I was happy to pay the £3, but I thought, no, if I can find another game and make it £5, that'd be great. So I was rummaging through. I couldn't really find anything, and in the end I just grabbed Pro Pool because pool games are usually good on like mobile phones and things. This is okay at best, nothing amazing, but for £5 I'm not going to moan whatsoever. I'm happy to have them in the collection. Now here's a purchase I'm happy with. Donkey Kong Land 3. Now it was priced up at £15, but I put a cheeky offer of 10 in, and the stallholder, Mr. Dan Emblin, he accepted begrudgingly. But I just want to say, if you're watching, thanks for accepting because I love the game. I've been playing it ever since I got back from the retro market, so it's in good hands. And finally, for the Game Boy games was Star Wars, which I picked up for £12. It was priced up at £14. After the last game, I thought, I'll try my luck again, so I asked for 10. And yeah, the stallholder wasn't impressed, but he countered with an offer of 12, and I was happy to pay that. Now, I've not played the game as yet. Apparently it's rock hard, so I'll be looking forward to getting stuck into that. Now here's a bit of a surprise purchase that I made. Now, I was looking on this store which had a load of games out, and I just happened to catch a glimpse of a bookcase behind the cellar, and it had a load of curiosities on it, like figures and memorabilia, stuff like that. So I went to have a look, and I came across the faceplates, and they were priced up at £2, which if you've got a new Nintendo 3DS, you'll know A, how expensive they are, and B, how easily they scratch. So I was absolutely delighted to find these, and I don't care that Luigi's on it, to be honest. I'd have Hello Kitty for £2. So a great purchase that I'm really happy with there. So my final purchase from the market was a Zelda pocket watch, which is intricately cut and decorated, and it's a nice pocket watch, but I just don't know what to do with it. I'm thinking having a hook in my gaming corner and having it hung from there to serve the purpose of a clock in the room, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's really nice. I highly recommend it, and I bought it for £15. And finally, you may remember at the beginning of the video, I spoke about a £20 challenge. Well, I went into it a bit blind. I didn't quite know what to get. I didn't know whether I was going to get a lot of things like 20 items at £1 each, or just go for one item for £20. Well, in the end, I decided to go for a Game Boy Pocket. Now, you may have seen me having a look at a few in the video, and you'll have seen me looking at the backs of them. And why? Well, I'm a bit OCD when it comes to stickers. I don't like stickers that are peeling or that are off completely. And if I do see that, it puts me off big time. So I managed to find one eventually, because a lot of them were, the stickers were bubbled or peeling slightly. But I did manage to find one where the stickers were perfect and the serial sticker was still on it. And the asking price was $25, but I managed to snag it for the $20. And what this challenge proved was just how affordable things are at these markets. They're not as expensive as people think. And if you're willing to haggle, you can pick up some bargains. And I consider a Game Boy Pocket at £20 an absolute steal, because it was in fantastic shape. It's a better screen than the original Game Boy. It's not the green one, so you don't get as much ghosting on it. They can be modded like the original one as well. So yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with that buy. I know you might be a bit underwhelmed. You might have thought that I was going to get loads of £5 things or £1 things, whatever. But no, it just shows that you can buy a quality item for something as little as £20, and it is affordable. And that concludes my journey to the Doncaster gaming market. Now, I really enjoyed the day, and I'm over the moon with my purchases, I got to admit. So if you enjoyed the video, I'd like you to like, share and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.